And it's my honor and pleasure to welcome all the esteemed panelist speakers. First and foremost, our session moderator, Dr. N. Kannan, Dean, School of Engineering and Technology, CMR University. Let's welcome him on stage with a huge round of applause. A very warm welcome to you, sir, our session moderator. Please help me welcome on stage Mr. Nikhil Abhichandani, Associate Director, Meritto. A huge round of applause and a very warm welcome to him. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Harish Kumar, Sardana, Director, IIIT, Raichur. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Let's hear it for him. Joining us on stage, Dr. K.B. Lingegowda, Vice Chancellor, Shri Siddhartha Academy of Higher Education. A very warm welcome to you, sir. And also, please put your hands together to welcome on stage Professor Dr. Rajesh S., Vice Chancellor, MIT ADT University. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Over to Dr. N. Kannan. So, request all of you to kindly take your seats.
A very good afternoon to all of you. So now the panel discussion will have a discussion on the topic of redefining education and integrating immersive and advanced technologies. That is called as Education 5.0. That is, the Education 5.0 envisions a learner-centered, technology-driven ecosystem where immersive tools and advanced technologies redefine how knowledge is delivered and experienced. So everybody knows very well that the traditional teaching learning process, whether it reaches, that is, whatever the faculty is delivering, whether the students are in a position to receive in a better way so that they can apply wherever it is needed. So, but how by using this immersive tools and advanced technology, we are going to deliver the content, and the students, how they are going to experience it and how they are going to make use of it. So that is a topic we are going to have today, and challenges lies in this. That is how it is the immersive tools and advanced technologies integrating, that is to deliver, that is in pedagogy, and how it is that is available to all the students, as well as how we are going to train the educators, that is to take them, that is on par with other institutes, all the educators, how we are going to train them and how they are going to deliver it. So these are all the topics we are going to have today. So ultimately, how students, that is learning outcomes is going to come out of teaching learning process. So in this, I wanted to ask Professor Rajesh, how does Education 5.0 differs from previous education models, and why is it significant now?
Very good afternoon to one and all. I am Professor Dr. Rajesh S., and I am representing one of the finest universities in Pune. We are MIT Art, Design and Technology University. And out of the Art, Design and Technology University, in particularly at MIT, we have a very immersive learning program of teaching the design students how exactly, particularly the computational design students, how we are able to march it to them and then make it more immersive to them. The meaning of immersive is all about that, how realistically they feel the kind of things they want to learn. And rightly said by the moderator that, we need to see the teaching learning processes of how to strengthen them. So if you see the immersive technologies, let us take in totality what we are talking. It's basically the AR, the VR, and now we have something like MR and XR also. I think you might have heard about all these terms, but now AI revolution is in place, and where AI is having an intermingling of immersive learning technologies. So when I say augmented reality, AR, mixed reality, MR, or any kind of extended reality, XR, or virtual reality, whatever reality we are talking, so most important thing is the mixing of AI with immersive learning is the key, which we are doing that in MIT DT as the next level. So for example, if a student is working on a machine or trying to understand the machine, if you have to put in a tool of AI into that, automatically the AI should help the student to know that he is touching the correct parts and learning that machine. That is, he is accessing the correct process of doing it. And it is very systematic process. It cannot be just, it has to be immersed in a very delicate way, and all has to be intermingled very nicely. For example, if you see a top university like Stanford University, in Stanford, they are working on using AI with immersive learning to help the patient's anxiety. They are clearing the patient anxiety through a mechanism of AI and immersive learning. So there are many ways where universities have taken this thing, and we at MIT ADT, we have taken it up very seriously. And already the revolution of AI has started all across the country and the world. So at MIT Art Design Technology University, we have started that process. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. That is, you have discussed about how that is AI, VR, AR, and other advanced technologies used in your university as well as across the globe. So I want to move on to the next question with Mr. Nikhil. What role can immersive technologies like VR, AR, and the metaverse play in reimagining classrooms?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Nikhil. I am representing Meritto, which is a SaaS product for all the education institutes and being loved by 1,400 plus institutes in the industry. So the question is how VR, AR will help universities to grow or to make more easy for the candidates. What I believe is earlier when we used to study, there were class boards, there were projectors on which we used to work, we used to learn. Now with VR and AR, I believe we'll be able to more strengthen that, and it would be a practical thing for a candidate who's doing it. Like, I'll take an example. Supposedly, there's a surgeon who wants to perform an action and he wants to perform a surgery. He can do it through VR, which is a very good thing. And I believe through this VR, what will happen eventually, the candidates who used to just search and just think of doing something, now with this VR, they'll be able to relate it better. Supposedly, I'll take an example of solar system. We used to think and read about solar system. People started seeing it. Now with VR, they will be able to fly through it and they'll be able to understand what exactly it is. And with this VR, AR and metaspace, we will be able to make sure that any candidate, whether it is international, domestic, whatever it is, they can have a virtual classroom and they can engage all together. So it's not required to have a 4-wall room where we need to study. And through this, I believe, if I take an example of multiple institutes where we are working with, I believe this will increase the retention of a candidate as well. And it will increase the interest of the candidate. Interest in terms of people used to shy away from doing something or used to delay it just because they wanted, no, it's not practical. We are just reading and going ahead. Now with VR, they will be able to understand, they will be able to relate it better. And this will eventually help all the institutes. And the most important thing is how do the universities who are working adapt this, which is really important for an institute to take it forward. Because if they delay adapting this, this will be a problem for them. And I believe it will not replace the teachers which are there. It will make them understand how you can more engage with the candidates, how you can make sure the candidate is more interested and you are able to understand his interest as well. So I believe eventually when VR, AR, this will be here more in education institutes, it will eventually help the candidates as well as the universities to grow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That is, he has explained about how that is immersive tools used to explain the students. That is, they can simulate instead of particularly with the medical area, they can simulate, that is without taking any risk. The students can work on it so that they will understand much more, as well as the 3D models and other, that is with respect to the traditional classroom teaching, how it is differs. That is how it reimagine the classrooms. That is, you have explained a wonderful way, sir. Next, we'll move on to Professor Harish, sir. How can institute ensure equitable access to advanced technologies in learning?
Yeah, good evening. See, traditionally, the classroom teaching was more like a mass manufacturing, where we wanted the economy of scale. One teacher could teach number of students, and it is not that has ended. Even today, with some other use of technology, may not be AR, VR, but other projectors and other online mechanisms. Some of the institutes I heard in Singapore, 1,000, 2,000 students also in a class. So that's the technology leverage that we had, and there was no equity or equitability issue because everybody was getting an average share of the learning, and it was like one teacher, one technology, serving number of students, and economy of scale automatically comes in. Now comes, as our colleagues mentioned, AR, VR, or if I say individualization. Actually, the Education 5 goes in parallel with Industrial Revolution 4 and then moving to 5, where everything is becoming customization. So in terms of Industrial Revolution 4 to 5, you could choose your products on your own, customized to yourself, whether it is your dress or car or mobile phone or any other product. But here we are talking about education of an individual who is a young boy or girl. And then individualization, maybe we are assuming that technology is still economically viable. And that's where the question, and in other sessions we heard that digital divide and other gaps still exist. So how do we bring that equity and equal access, if I put it that way, which is right to education in a different way? So the Education 5 in that manner, tunneling this issue of mass scale teaching. And remember, we might have considered all class as set of individuals, but everyone is individual in and individual out. They are maybe going for the same course, so-called course, syllabus, were the terms we introduced. But now coming to the question that how to do that, it has to be the education technology providers, how they are looking at it. It looks at lucrative and meeting the objectives of availability, but how to provide those gadgets. Each individual would require maybe shared base, but when it is individualization, we say anytime, any place, anytime, any person. So that's a very challenging task, and I think the right issue that you raised remains challenging to the industry. How to make it economically available, and it's like the industry made earlier, bring your own device. So probably industry would have to have innovations in this era. How individuals, like today they have their own laptops, so they will have their own devices. So that is minimum towards equity, that the economic of the devices is affordable, available, and accessible through the institutions. So that is what my first take is on how the objectives of Education 5.0 would be made available through technology on one hand, economy on the other hand, accessibility and availability on the other hand. So there's a multispectral challenges for the industry to make them available. And so are the challenges for the institutions who are embarking for Education 5.0 to see how Industrial Revolution has already done this and is embarking. So is the Education 5.0 making or getting lessons from that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That is, even though we are finding it as a challenge, but with everybody is having the gadget with as a laptop. All the students are having now, even government also taking some steps to have the laptop with students. And the institution also has to help, so in order to get the technology. Sir, and one more question I want to ask with you. That is, if you take the higher education, the students are coming from different categories. That is, they are from private schools, government schools, and even the medium also is a problem. So how we will make the students to learn and make use of the technologies so that they can learn the technology in a better way so that they can apply in the real world?
It's very pertinent for an institution like ours, which is a public-private partnership. And the entry to such an institute is like JEE and through the Central Seat Allocation Board. So we find the huge diversity in the institute in terms of ranking, in terms of language, in terms of culture, in terms of food and everything else. Fortunately, as you said about probably your mention was more towards languages. Yeah. And of course, economic diversities are also there. But remember, all creativity roots from diversity. Having a class makes all uniform. And of course, the schools remember everybody in the same dress. That was the value at the school level, that we want all to be equal, uniformly available, not seen through their dress or color or anything else. But that's true. That's the school level learning we all had. Now, when it comes to handling that diversity, yes, we have been having that, maintaining all levels of even learning variations. Today, the talk in Ministry of Education is learning disability. The series of workshops held for our faculty were learning disability. So in a way, when we come to individualization, all these things will come as individuals' levels. So mind it, further let me remind, the purpose of education is also, the other session was degree, the evaluation. So it's very, very, in a way, 360 degree and then 360 degree again. We need to impart the education, then we need to evaluate the candidate. So whether the evaluation indicates the student's evaluation, or it indicates the institutional evaluation, or the technology and the levels of innovation that we have done, evaluating them. So in a way, education is a sector where everything evaluates everything else. Right? With that challenge in mind, your question was diversity. Yes, not just the institution itself, all sectors associated with in education, be it government or be it private sector or say industry in general. These diversities help towards a lot of innovations. So therefore, while we move towards education 5.0, we must assume that a lot of innovation. Yesterday I heard that I saw a news, Global Innovation Index for our country is going up. So we need to welcome that. That means a lot of good things have already happened at a large scale. Now, at an institutional level, we have been handling through maintaining counseling of various levels of language and also learning. So if there are variations in language, we provide counseling or assistance. And nowadays, of course, AI, which is becoming, universal language. So those language difficulties are getting impeded. Of course, the direct communication learning of students in different languages or say professional languages still remains a competence that we provide separately. So yes, and also, as you said, the variations in their ranking, their initial school level variations are also to be handled. Fortunately, the way institutions of national importance are built, they know, and from the very beginning, such variations are assumed to be there and students are prepared for that. So making our job relatively simpler, but nonetheless, such challenges are to be welcomed all over. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Really, you put the things in a proper way about the diversity in different ways. Thank you, sir. Now we'll move on to Professor Lingegowda. Sir, what training and mindset shifts are required for educators to adopt Education 5.0?
Thank you, Professor Kannan. I am Dr. Lingegowda from Siddhartha Academy for Education, Tumkur, where we have a couple of medical colleges, engineering college and dental college. And coming to your point, now I always think that immersive and advanced technology integration, whether it is for students or staffs, I'm sure, how many of you are from government sector? Please raise your hand. Government sectors? Nobody. One. Only one. Because I worked in Kidwai Cancer Hospital for 30 long years. After retirement, I took my post as Vice Chancellor in Siddhartha Medical College because, especially for the staffs, if you ask them to change, they will never change. Because private is a different setup, which I have been seeing in Siddhartha, we can impose. And I have clearly seen, in fact, I had been to their college in Ujjain, Avantika University, the mental makeup of their people and our people and your people, it's totally different. And you asked that similar question from the, how about from the rural background. Whether it is rural or city, Kannan, I believe there is one student from a place called Shira, 70 kilometers away from Bengaluru. That guy is so intelligent. So intelligent, he's already started his own startups. He went to US and came back. But whereas another guy who got all the facilities, they're not interested. So I think now basically I feel that we have to train our staffs first, especially the faculty, to train them because they are not interested in knowing today it is AI, next year it will be BI, after 5 years it will be ZI. It's going in that speed, but the people are not ready to change. They think that no, I will let me change, sir. But they will not accept. But as an administrators, it is our ultimate responsibility to change them, send them, take them for task because world is moving very fast. We cannot say that, no, we are just moving. The moment we think that there is something else. So that's how we should come back and this kind of meetings should keep taking place and regionally, in fact, even UGC insists to have the regional meetings with experts. But somebody is too good. And in fact, a few years back, we had been to SRM University. The way they are moving forward is totally different. My daughter had called me today morning from Johns Hopkins University. She was telling that they're talking about planetary health. Forget about planetary health they're speaking. We are still talking about environmental health, segmental health, but they're talking about planetary health. So that's the reason this kind of program should happen. Both for, we must ultimately sensitize the faculty first, then students. Thank you, Kannan.
Thank you, sir. So really you are put it in a right way. That is the faculty should have a mindset first to learn the technology so that they can leverage that to the students. Sir, again one more question to Professor Rajesh, sir. How can we balance innovation with ethics, inclusivity and human-centric values in digital learning?
Yeah, I mean, this is the most debatable topic pertaining to not only, when once AI has come in, then everyone is talking about ethics first. How ethics and AI can go hand in hand, all that. But first thing is, I personally believe that the most important things are like what we cannot emulate things, overnight. There are Gartner reports, there are things people are talking, World Economic Forum reports. They're all talking about AI, ethics, how we have to be. But the first thing comes from inherence, that consciousness. For example, you give assignment to a student. He will go to a chat GPT and he will submit it through Gen AI or some AI. And then he will submit it back to you. Let us say if the faculty has to monitor that and what kind of ethics the student has or what kind of ethics the student is holding to submit an assignment like that, then what is a monitoring mechanism to check that? So that comes first. Then the second thing is even the technologies, whatever we just talked, AR, VR, XR, all that. So basically they are all there to help the things in the perspective in the right way. But then it is not easy, when we are talking about, like John Hopkins has said, and also when I'm saying Stanford is using it for reducing the anxiety of a cancer patient, using all these technologies. Yes, it is very good. But then there should be a process added to that. There should be a systematic method to address these issues. So I think Government of India, if I'm not wrong, UGC also is pitching for that. But three things are very important. The first thing is the behavioral ethics. the ethics of the student taking it in a right way, we have to teach that to the student. So there should be a mechanism in the university itself that what kind of ethics committee, we should form a committee. We already did that at MIT IIT. We formed an ethics committee for that. But then we need to see exactly how we are taking it to the next level. Because even if you talk about XR, that is extended reality, what we are talking is interaction of the virtual with the reality. That means, for example, in augmented reality AR, what we are talking is you are seeing a mobile phone. Okay, you are having a video call with someone there. So that is augmented reality, but you are in the real plane. And then you are talking to them augmentedly. So it's helping it. But then when you say immersive, totally immersive virtual reality means like a cockpit training, like a ship, marital training. We have in MIT IIT, we have a marital program called MANET. In MANET, we teach the nautical science, the cadets, maritime cadets, when they are in the ship, how exactly they feel that. That immersive learning technique we have. And it's a very huge software we have invested on that, almost to the tune of 5 CR. But then that is giving a lot of benefit to the maritime students, that exactly if they are in the ship, how they are having that. So all these things, are there. People have very much used it. But at MANET, at MIT IIT University, in MANET, we have designed such kind of systems which can help students in a big way. But again, sir, this is a debatable topic. I want Honorable Sir to say, our Director, sir, yeah, maybe his thoughts maybe also taken. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So ethics, as once learnt in school, maybe before school, and then brought into institutions of higher learning, once it is learnt for one time, it's applicable everywhere. It's not that we need ethics in X and ethics in Y and ethics in Z. Ethics is one universal learning. So therefore, if the students are taught, probably at the school level, then they do better. But institution of higher learning is the last chance to improve the guy or girl. So yes, we do have ethics. I teach professional ethics to our graduate students, UG students, and we discuss it at length. We have had situations with small number, bringing them real situations. Yesterday I had the session 1.5 hours. After personality development, we bring professional ethics. And then before we get into professional ethics, we do talk about personal ethics. And then go down to morals and values. But once talked in free sense, the way it has to be audience-centric. It's not a dose that we can give. We have to take them along with us from where they are. And then bring them simple values, dharma. And India does have a lot of values, gyan, knowledge that we are sharing. Traditional knowledge is good enough to make them good individual. Education, anyway, whether you had a course or not, had to have ethics first, and then education has a purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So really, all the esteemed panel members with their experience, so they have told about the redefining the education. That is, we have to think in 3 different ways. One is the teacher's mindset. So they must change their mindset to learn the new technologies so that they can teach the students in a proper way. The students' community will feel of the technology and they will make use of that for serving the society. The next thing is the industries. So they have to come out with, as rightly pointed out by Professor, that is, they have to come out with the products with with the price level. It must be affordable to each and everybody. And it must be uniform throughout the country so that everyone will make use of it. Then the third thing is the management of any institute. So they must be in a position to provide the facilities and the whatever the softwares and the training for the faculty members. So everything relies on the faculty members, how much we are investing on the faculty members so that they will train the students and in turn the students will serve the society. I think with this we can conclude this session, that is redefining education by integrating immersive and advanced technologies. Thank you all. Thank you, respected panel members.
Well, a big thank you going out to our moderator and esteemed panelists on stage. Thank you very much for joining us and adding value to today's discussion. Can we have one more huge round of applause for all of them? Well, ladies and gentlemen, to do the honors of presenting our esteemed panelists with a token of appreciation, I'd like to call upon stage Mr. Chandan Anand, if you can hear us. All right. Looks like he's not here. I'd like to, on his behalf, I'd like to call upon stage one of our guests, requesting Mr. Preetham Kumar Agarwal, founder and director, Hello Kids, to kindly come join us on stage to do the honors of presenting our esteemed panelists with a token of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, our session moderator, requesting Dr. N. Kannan to kindly step forward and accept this kind gesture. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. N. Kannan, Dean, School of Engineering and Technology, CMR University. A huge round of applause for him. Requesting Mr. Nikhil, Associate Director, Meritto, to kindly accept this token of appreciation. Thank you very much for your inputs and time with us here. Professor Harish Kumar Sardana, Director, IIIT, Raichur. So thank you very much for joining us and all your valuable inputs. Meant a lot to us. Dr. K.B. Lingegowda, Vice Chancellor, Sri Siddhartha Academy of Higher Education. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. We're happy and proud to have you here with us. And last but definitely not the least, Professor Dr. Rajesh S. Vice Chancellor, MIT ADT University. A huge round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir, for all your valuable inputs.